is a debate.
Alright guys, this is Kendra Trios TV and I'm back on another video. I wanted to let y'all hear this story. This is each one teach one, okay, for educational purpose. We're just giving commentary on this. As you can see, Caribbean women call out her own people for the disrespect of the black community. So let's go in to see what's going on.
On a part of Nigerian Independence Day. We don't want a part of we don't want a part of with this diaspora shit. There is no diaspora.
Hold on.
It's them too. Them I really don't. They're jealous of what we have.
I'm sorry, y'all. I'm trying to just take it back so y'all can fully get the whole scope of it.
Black Americans show up. Black Americans love Jamaican food. They love Bahamian food. They love Haitian food. They participate in our cultures all the time. What is wrong with them saying Essence Fest is supposed to be about Black American culture and it should remain as such? And why don't we wait for their invitation of us into their culture?
Right.
Why is this a controversial take?
Right.
I'll
American
Go ahead, let them say.
Culture, and it should remain as such. And why don't we wait for their invitation of us into their culture?
Right.
Why is this a controversial take?
Right.
I'll tell you why. The reason why is because Black Americans are always the main character when it comes to just we made black being cool. Black has historically always been an American thing in the first place. These other people just like to tether on to the term black. Black was always just specifically Black Americans.
Right.
At least it's just the way I view it. But the reason why, more importantly, is
if you go to the 1924 Racial Integrity Act, he wasn't talking about Jamaican. He wasn't talking about Haitian, excuse me for eating, but whatever. He wasn't talking about African. If you go to the Racial Integrity Act, it says we will no longer cast these people as Indian, but Negro, color, and black. Black was always something that was referred to when we are talking about the American Indian. That is exactly who we are. I digress. Let's go on.
We live in America. America controls the global narrative of a lot of things.
Right.
And when it comes to culture, Black American is the culture.
Right.
Michael Jackson, LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Beyonce, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, fucking Michael Vick. I don't know. I can go on and on and on. That's just athletes and entertainment. Even when it comes to intellectual property, Neil deGrasse Tyson, Martin Luther King.
Right.
I can go on and on and on. You know, and we are always Big Brother. We're always, I could even say Big Brother. We're just always the number one option. So when you don't have a culture that is relative enough to get that kind of global, I guess, support, then you're gonna get jealous. And I say this before, and I've always said this. A lot of tethers are jealous of Black Americans. There is just jealousy. I don't even think they hate Black Americans. They're jealous. Well, that jealousy, I guess jealousy can turn to hate. They're jealous of what we have created, and the fact that they don't have a good enough culture that everybody wants to be. Right. If you go to Africa, if you go to the Caribbean, if you go to a lot of these countries, they're exuding Black American culture.
Right.
There's not a person in Senegal exuding Trinidadian culture. Right. There's not a person in Trinidad exuding South American or South African culture. There's not a person in Nigeria trying to be like an East African, dressing like them, talking like them, listening to their music, eating their foods. Nope. They're not doing it in the sense of like how the way that they do it to us. You can go to every single country in this world and everybody.
And I want to speak because this is something that Black people have said before. And if you go to, I'm talking about, you can go to Timbuktu, you can go to China, you can go to any part of Asia. I say China always. Korea, Vietnam, you could go to the Philippines, you can go to any part of Europe, you can go to any part, Russia, any country, and you will always know a Black American. You will always see people who will mimic or copy something from Black Americans, right? Whether it be from Michael Jackson, Beyonce, right? LeBron James, as he was saying. You see us culturally, people go with their hand out culturally at Black people's stuff all the time worldwide. That's just basically what he's getting at.
Trying to be me.
Yeah.
When I say me, I don't mean particularly me. Yeah. I mean me as in my culture, Black American men.
Right.
Even look at the women. They want to be Black American women.
Right.
The Caribbean women, the African women, they...
And this is so true. Every woman across the globe, I don't care if you go to Asia, I don't care if you go to any Latin country, I don't care if you go to Africa, right? North and Southwest Africa, I don't care if you go to East. Every woman of all these different countries, especially Latino and Hispanics, will mimic the way, not African women act. They don't mimic the way African and Jamaican women act. They mimic the way American black people act. They mimic the way American black women are. The way American black women wear their hair, talk, speak, act, sing. It is globally mimicked by every woman of every country. Do you hear me? That's what he's talking about.
Put on it, they operate like a black American woman. They want to be black American women. So it's really just a form of jealousy that a lot of it's really just a form of jealousy that a lot of these people have when it comes to that. And when it comes to us, we also have to take accountability as black Americans because we have given people way too much leeway. And it's not just Africans or Caribbeans, it's also these fucking Latinos. Them too. It's them too. Them I really don't like when they try to do it. It's them too. We have been way too nice. This is why I can never live in a place like New York, because I end up smacking the fuck out of one of the Dominican niggas. Like, I can never the Dominican niggas can go to Cleveland, Detroit, Chicago, and operate like that. They can't do that, and they know better. That's why they don't. And even places like Florida, places like DC, even places like Houston. I couldn't live in Houston because there's too many fucking Mexicans trying to be black and Mexican OT saying nigga. Like I can't be around that. I don't like that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because they would never they would never allow us to be able to do that same shit to their culture and their homelands. So
they sure will.
We have given way too much leeway, and we have given way too much we have just given them way too much love, and now we are pushing back on that.
The thing is, we never what we got to understand is because white people do it. We have never set boundaries for our culture, and any boundary that we have set for our culture, white people dismantle it, and they make it everybody's culture by assembling it through fashion and through white kids doing it. They have taken black culture and made it everyone's culture. So when you have let people usurp your boundaries, if I'm saying that right, all the time, and you never set boundaries, or your boundaries are never met, and they're so used to overstepping, being habitual line steppers, and they're so used to having access to you all the time, and they're not used to you setting boundaries. You have to understand that when you're finally starting to set boundaries, it's going to feel like oppression. It's going to feel like, damn, I mean, how come we so used to you letting us do it, you let everybody do it, and that's what's happening. Because in society, culturally, people have always stolen from our culture. You know what I mean? Everything. We started rock and roll, jazz, all those things were stolen, right? And so time and time again, when people don't respect your boundaries, they steal from you. They don't give you credit. Look what happened with TikTok. What happened with TikTok when you had those white content creators stealing from them black girls, not giving them any type of credit, and just stealing their dances, stealing their stuff, and going and become famous and getting bigger channels off of the back of a black person who originated it. But isn't that the history of America, right? You steal all black people's stuff and then you put your face on it, right? So they're used to not respecting boundaries. So why should now anybody else do it? Is probably the argument.
Got the cookie jar this whole time. Now you want to stop it?
Right.
And it's like, yeah, but we control whether this is going to be a yes or a no. We're not wrong for saying no, and now we're saying no, and they don't like it. So that's really what it is. But let's keep going. I ain't about to talk your head off. Let's go.
And I don't think it's being xenophobic. I don't think it's being exclusionary. When you are a group of people who have to live in a country where exclusion is the default for you, and then you create something, and other cultures say, no, you're supposed to, like, we know, we can still be united as a diaspora and still maintain our separate identities. People owning their separate identities doesn't mean they're not united in the diaspora.
Respectfully, she can miss me with this diaspora shit. There is no diaspora. There is no connection. We are on a whole nother side of the world. And diaspora, people. This whole fake ass diaspora shit, which doesn't exist, that only applies when it comes to black Americans. They don't talk about diaspora when it's just Caribbeans and Africans. They don't even talk about diaspora when it's just talking about Africa. How you gonna talk about some diaspora connection and we all as one, and they got tribal warfare going on right now? Talking about some diaspora. How you gonna talk about some diaspora when there's literally like war-torn countries going on in Africa right now where they're having tribal beefs and child soldiers and all type of wild shit going on in Africa right now.
Right.
But somehow Devontae Williams in Detroit that works at Family Dollar and he's 20 years old and he's trying to take care of his girlfriend and his kid, somehow he's the same as some East African right now. Like, come on, man. Get the fuck out of here with this whole diaspora shit. That's some bullshit. And she's 100% correct on as far as our acceptance, though. We are accepting of a lot of these cultures. Some of the top artists like that you can think of, some of the top people that you can think of exist and are successful because of Black America gave them a platform, even when it comes to our music.
Right.
A lot of successful artists are not Black American. Nicki Minaj, Drake, Rihanna, Akon, Fat Joe, and some of them people as Tethers. Who else? We can go on and on and on. Some of the most successful artists are successful because they got it off of Black American culture.
Right.
And the thing is, when it comes to things like Carnival and specific stuff for Jamaicans and Caribbeans in general, we don't get into that. No. We don't want a part. They want a part of Juneteenth, but we don't want a part of Nigerian Independence Day. We don't want a part of. We don't want a part of claiming 1804. We don't claim.
But here's the thing: we also don't do Carnival. We don't really participate in any Black people's things because we know it's not ours. You know what I'm saying? The only thing we do that we appropriated from anybody was braids from Africans. Cornrows and stuff, that is African. Black Americans curl their hair and did plaits, but we never did cornrows and box braids. That's African culture that we did appropriate. But just saying, I will agree. She's gonna say something that I do agree with, and I don't
claim Haitian Independence Day. Why are they trying to claim more independence shit with those Black Americans? Some bullshit.
Is a debate. Essence Fest is about Black American culture. If you are a Caribbean person, I'm not speaking for the Africans because I'm not African. If you are a Caribbean person that cannot go into their space, participate, appreciate, and engage in their culture, then maybe your ass shouldn't be there. I somewhat understand why Black Americans say that they are empathy fatigued because
Okay, well, she said something prior to that. You could go check his whole video out. But this is the one thing I want to say. We don't got to be, he does say this, we do not got to be the same culture for us as a brown-skinned race of people to come together to realize that there's injustice in things that we want to stand together with each other to fight. We do not have to be the same people for that. We don't have to have the same culture. We don't have to, none of that. To understand that we want to fight against some of the evil that has been happening to our people. Black people, American so-called Black people, which are the American Indians, because that's what the word black stemmed from. The Black American Indians, so-called Black American Indians, right? We, Haitians, Jamaicans, Africans, from south, north, east, wherever you at. Africa, the continent, whatever country you are in Africa, right? Trinidad, I said Haitians, Jamaicans, right? Who else? Even Australians. We as a brown-skinned race can come together, put our minds together, and create a unity together and build each other economically. Build each other economically, financially, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. We can come together and actually build a nation for ourselves that is safe for us and our children. That's what we could do. And we can respect each other's individuality, but yet come together in that way to build up a strong foundation for one another. That's what we could do. That's where we should be putting our head. To build a foundation for ourselves as brown-skinned people who have been going through so much. You get what I mean? That's where we should be knocking and putting our heads together. We should be able to enjoy each other's cultures separately and have respect for that separately. But come together in every other way to build ourselves, if that makes sense, right? Especially when we're here in America. Especially when you're here in America. We should be trying to, I saw the other day when Black Americans helped these Haitians from getting taken away by ICE. And that's what I mean. We should be standing together in unity, protecting and providing. We go to establishments, Haitian establishments, Jamaican establishment. We even go into Dominican establishment and we buy their food. We support y'all when y'all have bodegas. We support y'all when y'all have restaurants. Y'all should do the very same thing to us. Y'all, some of y'all do go to soul food outlets and things of that nature. But we should be supporting each other in those respects, right? Anyway, this is Kendra with Truest TV. Like, share, and subscribe. Stay up, stay blessed. Put God first above all else. Peace out, guys. Bye.